So I got this idea, a grape laxative, and we call it grape poupon. Grape season is over! Back to the stinky clothes. Alright, what's up YouTube? We are in my squeaky chair, but we're in my little bedroom studios here because I want to share with you guys my final numbers for grape season. If you've been watching over the last few weeks, a couple weeks since I did the Asian Mai show, I've got a lot of new subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. As you guys have commented and asked me questions and things, I'll share whatever knowledge I have with you. I'm not one of these guys who knows a lot about everything. I'm kind of a guy who knows a decent amount about a very small thing. I only have the experience that I have. I've gone from ag season to company driver to owner operator on hazmat tanker. And then just this last grape season, I was able to, because the hazmat loads started kind of tapering off because of COVID and less people driving. So we were having, there was less loads and we were going to be slow. So we were able to pick up a lot of loads in grape season. And I was able to run for 11 weeks of grapes. And so that's a pretty good season. From what I hear from guys who do it all the time, it's usually between 8 and 12. So we were right there, like towards the better end of that. And so I'm going to show you guys the numbers on that. But if you guys have any other questions for me, email me, hit me up in the comment section. The email is nick@velox18.com. When I started YouTube, I did it for Gus. First off, my 4-year-old with autism, he loves trucking videos. He loves driving footage. So we're going to try and get more of that, especially as I buy the new Peterbilt and have a better windshield. I'm going to try and get some more driving footage, and we'll talk about some things while I'm driving. For now, we're going to do it kind of in a janky way, but we're going to do it anyway. But anyway, my intent on starting YouTube was, to help or to kind of bring Gus in the truck with me, because he doesn't have a TWIC card and he can't get into the refineries, and it's a safety hazard for him to be in the truck at this point. So I wanted to bring him into the truck. So I wanted to make some videos for him to watch at home. And when he hears my intro song, he runs to whatever TV or device I'm editing on or whatever. If someone's watching one of my videos, he'll run into the room. So it's worked. He gets to see me and come along with me in the truck. But then the secondary purpose of it is just to help people out. I have a father-in-law and a brother who are in trucking, who have been owner-operators for a long time. And so having them helped me a ton. I'm a guy that likes to know numbers. I like to know what I'm getting into before I do it. I like to make plans. And so having their insight and their knowledge and getting to really like ask them questions and kind of over and over and over again. If I didn't think I liked the answer the first time, I'd ask them again. If I didn't understand all the way how something worked for them as owner operators, I would ask them, more questions. And I kind of actually unpacked some stuff that I don't even think they realized they hadn't really thought about, because I needed to know. And so if you don't have someone in your life that you can do that with, I kind of want to just offer myself. You can ask me anything. The only thing that I've said that I won't really do is tell you guys like the exact like per load for the hazmat tanker stuff. And that's just because it's a contracted load that the carrier that I lease on with, they have the contract, and then they give us a portion of whatever their invoiced amount is. And I don't know what the invoiced amount is, but I don't want anyone to even like hear like how much per mile the owner operators are making, and then be able to like deduce from that any type of information. I don't know. I'm a little careful about that, but I want to tell you guys like everything else, like all my numbers, all of my knowledge that I have. Like I said, it's a small sliver of the trucking industry that I know, but I'll share everything I know with you. Um, with that, I want to grow in my career, in my trucking business. So as I learn more, I'll take you guys along the journey with me, and we can all learn together, because I want to, start my carrier, start my own MC number, and grow a business beyond just being an owner operator leased on somewhere. I think that's been a really good step for me, and I'm looking to move past that in the future. And so hopefully you guys will come along the ride with me. With that, I'm going to put the numbers up here. Cool. So all you're looking at is a spreadsheet that has the paycheck dates, the gross. There's a column for the gross revenue that the truck made. And then the net is simply the amount, the operating net. That's the amount that the check was cut to me. And then I had some sulfur mixed in with the grape loads. So I just did a generic load count there in the next two columns. So you'll see sulfur the first and last weeks, and then one of the weeks in the middle, I had sulfur. The rest of the loads during that 11 weeks were all grapes. So they totaled 177 loads, and 165 of them were grape loads. And so down on the bottom, I just showed the 11-week averages right there where it says grapes and it says 11 weeks. I averaged grossing over $5,500, and I netted on average over $3,100 during that 11-week span. I averaged doing 17 loads, and I worked 6 days per week, 6 nights per week actually. And so, but with that, the gross kind of average per load, I don't mind doing this because all the loads are different length, different mileages. So the average per load was $326. Now I can tell you that some of them were a lot longer than others. So if you're looking like, oh, well, I just want to get a $300 and something load, you won't know what the averages are for those loads. I mean, the mileages are for those loads. So that wouldn't really be a good way to do it. And then what I did in comparison was I set up the sulfur, which is the previous 35 weeks in the year. And so the sulfur grossed a lot less at $4,227 on average. I netted a lot less, on average $1,950. I did a lot less loads, 9.5, and the average per load was higher. Now, the reason why the load number is lower and the average per load is higher is because I did some longer mileage loads. When I was in sulfur, I was doing a lot of loads down to Fresno and that area. So obviously there's less loads. They're not all just short local runs. Those were a little longer. But then also, not only... Hey, Gussie Bear. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye. All right. I totally lost my place. Let's just go back to sulfur. So for the 35 weeks before grape season, the average gross was $4,200. The average net was $1,950. Oh yeah, we already talked about that. Okay, so something that isn't on the spreadsheet, but I wrote down on mine, is the net average per load. So I averaged a net during grape season of 184, and I averaged for the previous 35 weeks an average of 205 take home per load. Now the reason why that's significant is because basically I got to keep about 57% of the gross rate of the gross pay for grape season, and I only kept about 46% of the gross pay for the previous weeks, for the beginning of the year, for the sulfur. So I say that to say that grape loads, not only is there more loads, but you keep a higher percentage with those loads. So even though on here the average per load is less and the average net per load is less, there's so many loads, there's extra work, but not only that, but you keep a higher percentage of the gross. So that is pretty much all I wanted to share with you guys. I just wanted to kind of recap that 11-week season that I did. It was an intense season. I worked a lot of hours. That's something that's not on the spreadsheet. I didn't add in how many hours that took me. I told you guys it was 6-day work weeks, and so I was definitely like in the craziest mindset during that time. I mean, you guys saw some of the videos. If you watched the Get the Grapes Ag Season in California videos, I was losing my mind. I mean, I'm always a little bit goofy and a little bit weird, you know what I mean? But yeah, I was doing a lot of fun stuff during the grape season. I was really tired. Those weeks adding up, where it had like a cumulative effect. As I got into like week 5 and week 6 and week 7 of grape season, I was just loopy, man. But anyway, so I want to show you guys what the money was like, show you guys how it compares to the rest of my year. Before that, I know a lot of you guys are interested in how much you can make as an owner operator, how much you can make in trucking. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm rambling again like I do when I'm driving. So maybe it's not my driving, maybe it's just me. But I'm enjoying interacting with you guys in the comment section and stuff. Anyway, I appreciate all you guys who watch to the end of videos and who are commenting. It helps the YouTube algorithm, but it also encourages me to know that people are actually watching. And so tell me all your feedback. If you find this stuff helpful, let me know. It encourages me to make more videos because knowing that you guys are out there and that you guys are actually benefiting from it, gives me a little stroke of the ego, and a little encouragement. Like, okay, yeah, this, like, people need to hear stuff like this, so I'm gonna keep putting it out. So yeah. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Have a good weekend. See you on the next one. Why do I always do the gun thing? I don't do this in real life. I just do it when the camera's on, and then that's why it's like, I don't know why. I just boom, boom, boom. All right. See you guys later.